Seattle's built a 10-point lead here in the second quarter. We have 1:40 to go before halftime. These teams met up on July 5th, and Seattle won by 25 points. And it was the worst loss the Lynx had all season. We're trying to avenge that. Look how tight this Western Conference is and how important every game is. The bottom team is only 4.5 out of first. It's
kind of crazy. Anything can happen, a little bit like we saw with the men in the NBA this year. The Western Conference in both leagues are deep. Teams are all in it still. It's exciting for the Lynx fans. Last couple of years, they haven't been in it this late in the season, and so they're excited. They're only a half game out, and it's going to be very, very interesting, Marnie, to see how the Olympic break affects this. There are some teams that have 2, 3, even 4 players that are going to be taking breaks and gone playing Olympics, and there are some teams like San Antonio that don't have anybody. So you would think the advantage would go to the teams that can stay healthy, rest up, even though there's a mandatory break for the league for a brief time. These guys can stay together and practice together, and it'll be interesting coming out of that Olympic break to see what happens in the West.
Sharday Houston has been Minnesota's spark plug, just like Sue Bird there has been for Seattle. Houston has gone 5 of 6, while the rest of Minnesota has gone 0 for 15. Houston's 5 of 6 with 10 points. Simone Augustus is 0 for 5 this afternoon. So the team is struggling. Sharday Houston is about the lone bright spot, with Minnesota shooting 31%. And there's a travel. And it's turnover number 8 for the Lynx.
Start pressing a little bit when you're not shooting the ball well. Possessions become a little bit more crucial and important, and you try to just sort of will your way sometimes, and sometimes that leads to things like Candace just did.
Full court pressure from Wiggins on Bird. Dumped inside and right out of bounds.
You throw it up to Lauren, she catches that. She's not used to having a little bit shorter post player there.
That will be an adjustment for this team. There's a foul called as the ball is touched out of bounds right in front of our broadcast table. Quinn will inbound. Augustus looking for her first.
Just can't buy one.
0 for 6. So she'll give it up and go to Anasike, who turns around and hits. Nikki Anasike has 8 points this afternoon and is helped as the rest of the team has been struggling to keep up with Sharday Houston. That's the only field goal other than Houston's since 2:51 into the game.
Athletic play swings an athlete. You can hang in the air a little bit and draw contact, wait for the defenders to fall down, either get a foul or get a shot off. For the traditional pick and roll play, nice. You've got an athlete like Swin again who can hang and double clutch a little bit and get the ball up on the glass.
Cash is back at the line where she is a perfect 6 for 6 this afternoon. Seattle as a team is 10 for 11.
Jinxter.
And there's her first miss.
Jinxter, of course.
Join us for the second annual U.S. Bank Lynx Go Pink fundraiser this Saturday afternoon at Target Center. Tickets start at just $25 and all proceeds benefit breast cancer research and support services in Minnesota. Visit lynxbasketball.com for more information. Cash makes the second. She's 7 of 8. She has 9 points. Little has 9 points and Bird has 13. Wiggins drives. She had it stripped. And she's asking for the foul and doesn't get it. And so it'll be Seattle basketball. Here's Wiggins driving strong to the hoop.
Pretty good reach, pretty good no call, I think.
Bird quickly. She moves and darts in and out of traffic so quickly, but ended up turning it over.
At the numbers
Seattle,
here,
number 12.
She's got to keep shooting it. Even if she's missing it, she's a scorer, and they have to have points from her to win this game.
Augustus is 0 for 7. She made 11 straight on Saturday at San Antonio, but it's all evening out now. Bird with 4 seconds to go before halftime. The shot went up from Cash. Quinn rebounds, and she'll just hang on to it. We hit the halftime break with both teams struggling from the floor. Minnesota's shooting 31%. Seattle's got it up to 40%. And the Storm takes a 39 It's a 30 halftime lead. More from Target Center when we continue after this. The Lynx trail Seattle by 9. Let's check in over with Natalie. She's with assistant coach Jennifer Gillum.
Thanks, Marnie. Coach, around the 6-minute mark in the second quarter, we had an 8-2 run, the Minnesota Lynx, and then it kind of closed the gap. Seattle came back. What did you talk about during the half to close that gap?
I mean, we have to play with a sense of urgency. There's no way we can play for only 2 minutes the first quarter and only maybe 3 or 4 minutes the second quarter. We have to play 40 minutes of basketball if we want to make the playoffs, and we just have to play with a sense of urgency.
Now, last game, Simone Augustus had 30 points. So far, first half, she's only had 2 points. How's she feeling, and what do you think she's going to do in the second half here?
I think Simone is a competitor. I think she'll come out this second half wanting to win this game, and I think she'll put this team on her back and really attack the basket. Right now, her jumpers are not falling. You know, we just try to tell her to take it to the basket until they start falling. Hopefully, the second half it will.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you. Marnie, hopefully we'll see them come back this second half.
Okay, Natalie, thank you very much. Sue Bird is the leading scorer this afternoon. She leads all scorers with 13 points. She's 4 of 9 from the floor and also has a couple of assists. And Sue is leads the WNBA in assists, and her average in points is 13, so she's right there already after one half. The field goal percentage has been a huge problem for Minnesota, 31% right now. Three-pointers, neither team is doing very well, but at the free throw line, it's very good. Seattle's 11 of 13. Minnesota's a perfect 6 for 6, and then the bench scoring, Mike, in favor of Minnesota.
Yeah, but the difference right there, I believe, is that free throw and three-point differential. Each team has almost the same amount of field goals, 12 for Seattle versus 11 for Minnesota, but the difference is the 11 points is made up in that 3 field goal percentage and that free throw attempts. So you're getting 2 extra three-point shots, and you're getting a lot more free throws. And if you notice, the Lynx were a little bit late in coming out of the locker room, so I think Don Zierden made sure that the Lynx knew this was a tremendous opportunity, and they have to play their best basketball in the second half.
Bird has the 13 points, which is right at her season average, and it's the highest season average she's had since her rookie year 7 years ago.
Yeah, I think she enjoys, I talked to her a little bit before the game, I think she enjoys this offense, a little bit more motion, a little bit more freedom than the last couple of years, and she enjoys playing that way. And as you mentioned, if she's open on the floor without a hand in the face, she will make that shot more often than not. So you got to locate her in the second half. No more three-pointers that are wide open.
Brian Agler is in the middle of that Seattle huddle, and Sharday Houston has been Minnesota's answer. She's got 10 points. She leads Minnesota in scoring, is 5 of 6, and only played 8 minutes. She checked in the second quarter and just gave Minnesota a spark when the team was struggling to make field goals.
Did a tremendous job. I don't think that you could ask really anything more of her. She held this game in check when Simone and Candace were having absolutely subpar games. Neither Simone or Candace has a field goal, and that's unusual to say the least. So Sharday Houston has been the person that has kept the Lynx alive, and now it's time maybe to hand it over and hand that baton off to Sharday, or rather to Simone and Candace, and let them come back in the second half.
We also have an injury update on Cheryl Swoops. If you look at the numbers for Sharday Houston, Swoops has cramps in her right hamstring, and so she's questionable. The right hamstring is cramping, but it's actually pretty good news that that's all it is, and there isn't more to it. There's no muscle tear or strain or anything like that. So Swoops right now is questionable. She left in the second quarter tonight. We're about to begin the second half of basketball. Seattle will take it, and controlled by Tanisha Wright. And
almost a big turnover right away. They're definitely trying to pick up the pace and play with more intensity.
Full court pressure from Minnesota. Here's Little.
Denying through the ball whenever you can. Trying to keep it out of her hands.
Gerald starts the second half with Swoops injured. There's an offensive rebound from Swin Cash. Cash guarded by Augustus, and now the double team from Anasike comes over. Knocked away and stolen finally by Nicole Oldie. Pushed up ahead. This is Noelle Quinn. Quinn played just 8 minutes in that first half.
Sharday Houston up immediately, coming in right away to start the second half. Over at the scorer's table.
Oldie goes with the left hand and rolls it in. Nicole Oldie's third basket this afternoon.
That was an oldie but a goodie, Marnie.
Oh, Yikes. Give me a heads up when you're going to...
No, I prefer to surprise you with those.